Hallelujah. He is risen. He is risen. Hallelujah, people. The music played
It
on cue today.
played. We don't have to fire our producer. Let's go.
Hey, everybody. On that great note, welcome to the podcast. This is the Trio Positivity Podcast. The boys are back. We appreciate you joining us today. You guys know by now, we skimmed the Chicago Landscape Ooh, wow, I can't talk. Chicago Sports Landscape
Jesus.
Podcast in this show to bring you some positivity. To help me with this, I got my boys with me. Boys, say what's up.
Hi, I'm Miller.
Hi, I'm Chris.
God,
Wow.
Chris, you're so handsome. Look at you.
I have a sexy voice too, I know.
Yeah, you do. Yeah, you do.
Okay, this podcast is off the rails. And I'm loving it. I'm your host, Boo Pen. Those boys crisscrossed with Chris and Miller. We are excited you're here. We got a good show for you today. We are talking about a couple of random news items that dropped in our mailbox. Miller's got the Madhouse and Madison covered. We'll talk about the NFL a tiny bit. And in the main section, we'll talk about the Bears, especially their wide receiver core, the running back core, and the tight end group. Just a season in review as to who's there, what's their contract situation look like, and what do we think is going to happen with those three groups in particular in coming years. Quick social plug before we get started. You can find us on Facebook under Trio Positivity Podcast. At Twitter, we are at Trio Positivity. We have a YouTube channel now at Trio of Positivity Podcast. And we have a TikTok. We will let you know as soon as we figure out what it is.
We got banned.
Thanks for letting our secrets out, buddy.
Our material's so good they banned it.
They banned us.
I can't even come up with a joke. It's just a great joke right there. We have a website, triopositivity.com. Come see us for some blog posts and some random thoughts. Boys, this doesn't happen often, but Chris wanted to kick us off today. Chris, you got some random one-hitters. What do you got?
Yeah, I got some randomness that occurred during the week, as some of you guys might or might not be aware of. We had a couple of announcements in baseball. They announced the Hall of Fame. This year, only 3 people made the Hall of Fame: Adrian Beltre, Todd Helton, and Joe Mauer. One of the interesting things that came out of this whole thing, which, as you guys are kind of aware, they always like to see where the steroid people kind of hit the list, whether they got higher or lower. It looks like Alex Rodriguez and Carlos Beltran are kind of going a little bit on the uppy-uppies, but we're not entirely sure if that's going to be something that will happen in the future. The one big disappointment out of this was Gary Sheffield was not elected in his last year of eligibility. I believe he will have one more shot in the future with the Legends, where I think they have their own special wing or whatever it is, but he's past the availability of that point. The other quick hitter that caught my attention, which caught the attention of everyone in the NBA, Adrian Griffin was fired after 43 games. You guys are probably thinking, man, this coach must have been horrible. Well, he kind of was, but they were 30-13 when he got fired. However, the stats that were kind of backed into it had zero correlation with what's happening. It appears, according to reports on Miller's famous website where he gets all of his wrong breaking news, is that he held some of the top stars accountable, critiqued them, and because of that, he lost the locker room. And it looks like good old oh my God, I can't think of his name. Doc Rivers. Thank you so much. It looks like Doc Rivers is finalizing a contract with the Bucks.
Or anything, Chris.
What is? Oh yeah.
Doc Rivers. Never mind.
Yeah, but I have the agenda up here that in the noggin. That's all that matters.
Why
sometimes.
You forgot? But
I couldn't think of his name.
Yes. Why are you bringing Miller's name up if you're not even going to use his sources? You're using your own sources.
Wrong.
You're using your own sources, which are incorrect. Jeez.
I read a couple of cool things about this, guys. First off, he was fired because the team was 22nd in defensive rankings and
defensive rankings, bro.
They had
defense matters in the NBA.
apparently it does. They are second seed, and this was not good enough. So that's what I read. The other thing I read was Doc Rivers was already special consultant on the team. He was brought in, I think, a couple weeks ago, unofficially, and he was working out with the team like in official/unofficial capacity. I thought that was interesting.
Well, not
Yeah,
only
it's called.
that. Go ahead, Miller.
Yeah, it's called Doc Rivers got eager to get back into coaching, and they said, "Okay."
Well, Doc Rivers will be inheriting a team that's in the second in the Eastern Conference, and also 30-13 is, according to ESPN, it's the best winning percentage for a team that fired its head coach since David Blatt with Cleveland in 2015-2016. So with that, we're going to turn it over real quick to Mad Miller. Miller, give us the update in the Madhouse in Madison.
We got a lot of stuff happening today. I'm sporting my Jack Blackhawks shirt because we got some
Jack
good
Blackhawk?
Hawks details. We got the inside scoop from our insider, so look forward to that. But first, let's start off with the Chicago Bulls. The Chicago Bulls continue to be the Chicago Bulls. They are currently ninth in the East. Have won two of the last 3 games, so that is some improvement. The biggest takeaway so far is the emergence of Kobe White. He is starting to become scary for me to say, a quote unquote star in this league. He's putting up numbers almost on a nightly basis, and it's fun to watch. Last game against the Suns, where, let's face it, the Bulls kind of blew it. I think they were up double digits. He almost had a triple double. He was assist away. So some great numbers from Kobe White. He's doing it on both ends of the floor. He's playing hard defense and making his player that he's guarding work. And he's doing his work on the offensive side. But like we've said in the past, the Bulls continue to be mediocre. And the one thing that has popped up consistently over the last few weeks is the trade proposals. And let me tell you, they are all over the place, and multiple players' names are now at the forefront. The trade deadline is February 8th, and we've heard speculation on Zach LaVine, DeMar DeRozan, and even Alex Caruso, who the Bulls have come out and actually said they want multiple first rounders for Alex Caruso, which is kind of crazy for me. But hey, whatever we can get to help this team grow, that's for damn sure. So it'll be interesting to see what happens in the next few weeks. Expect some to be moved for sure. One of them, I would say, maybe even 2. Who knows how far this GM will take us back.
I heard we may keep them all and try and compete.
Yeah, because that's done
There's-
really well with us.
there's a
Let's
difference with
compete for the
trying to
play-in game.
There's a difference between trying to compete and then say that you can actually do something with the team. I think if Miller and I are probably on the same boat, if they make the play-in game, I really would love for them to make it in, but then they're going to be playing against a top-seeded team, which there's really no reward with that.
We don't have no Jimmy Butler and an injured Giannis to sneak past him.
What I will say though is I do like hearing that we're looking high, like we're looking to sell high with Alex Caruso. The one thing that kind of worries me is Vucevic has not been getting that much info on the trade rumors.
We just signed him to a fucking extension in the offseason.
Yeah,
You don't sign someone to an extension and then trade them. Well, I guess we thought about it with Zach LaVine, but that's what I was going to say. To begin with.
Like, I think everything's on the table for the Bulls, but I think we are in that phase where it's like we're less than 2.5 weeks of the trade deadline. Like, you don't know what's going to happen. There's a lot of competitors out in the Central. If you were to look at the standings, the Bulls are kind of competing with everyone but Detroit, who still has 5 wins in the season, which is interesting. But it's been weird, and I don't know what's going to end up happening with the Bulls. But yeah, it's a shit show and a half.
Well, let's move over to the other shit show and a half for the Chicago Blackhawks, aka formerly known as the Connor Bedard Show. But as we know, he had a jaw injury, and Chris hates progress and thinks these hockey players should be back on the ice playing hockey in a week.
Yep.
Well, that's not even good enough for him. But
Nope.
funny thing is, Bedard was out there after a few games, and reports are that they basically had to lock him out from getting on the ice because all he wanted to do was play. And even though Chris has vast medical knowledge from his dealings with, who is the quarterback? Jalen Hurts in his flu game. He's not aware that jaw injuries do restrict shooting abilities and also some skating. So, although he believes that they should be out there immediately, there are some restrictions, which is why they actually had to lock Connor Bedard from the ring. So, unfortunately, Chris may be going to a few conferences to learn up on his medical ability. Moving on, the big news from the Blackhawks is in regards to the extensions that they've made over these last week that we've covered on here. But today, I believe it was today or yesterday, we actually extended our veteran goalkeeper with a 2-year contract, about $4.5 million a year. Petre Mrazek. So he got extended for 2 years, and that is actually the third veteran that we have extended on a 2-year deal over the past few weeks. So what I wanted to do is I wanted to get opinion from our Blackhawks insider, Ben, who we've had on multiple times, and see why are we signing these veterans when typically teams in our position, which is basically worse than the league, try to flip these guys at the trade deadline. And basically, what I got out of Ben is that these guys not only are playing above where we thought they were, they have become leaders on our team. Specifically, Dickinson as well as Faligano, they really have solidified themselves as leaders on these teams. Dickinson is showing his leadership on the ice. He's been on fire this year. He's having a great year, working well with Bedard as well. And Faligino is being more of a leader, a vocal leader inside that locker room. He's talked multiple times with the media, which is very important. And as well as he's one of those guys that's right alongside of Bedard. And that's the key right now is you want to have leadership on a young team. And that is why Ben stated that we are signing these guys rather than trying to flip them. As far as Mrazek, the bottom line is our goaltenders behind him, as well as in the minors, aren't performing as well as we hoped. So what do we have to do is we have to sign the guy that's actually played pretty well, considering he's sporting .907 save percentage. Is that good? No, it's not. But the bottom line is, like we've covered, this team has been ravaged with injuries, specifically on the defensive front. We got a lot of young guys back there, so it's just been a rotation of defensive men, and he has played pretty well considering. So that's really the gist of it. Why the Blackhawks have signed 3 people that were speculated on being trade bait, and we'll see whether that comes to hurt them in the end. But you know what? Having some veteran leadership on a young team is never a bad thing. So overall, pretty excited for all of them to be here, and I'm hopeful that Bedard gets back soon. Not only that I'll be able to see him when I go, but also let's continue his bid for the Rookie of the Year trophy. And last I saw, he is still 6 points up on all the other rookies, despite missing these last few weeks. So he'll close it out.
Well, speaking of closing it out, I don't appreciate you giving me shit for my WebMD certificate. I know injuries, okay? He should have been on the ice. If he wants to be on the ice, let him be on the ice. He's young. He's got young legs. He doesn't need to talk to anyone. Let his jaw just seal shut. Kanye made a fucking album with his mouth wired. That's his generational talent right there. Fucking Bedard's is a generational talent. He should be able to do it. Fuck it.
Good thing you're not in charge of anything.
Hey, if I was in charge, he would be on the ice already. And guess what? More butts would be in the seats, and TV ratings would go skyrocketing through the roof.
Oh my
Whatever you
God.
say
You
there,
are problematic in so many
medical
ways.
expert.
I don't even want to deal with it. All right. So thank you for the update, Miller. Looks like Blackhawks. It's a very interesting time, right? Everyone's like a 2-year deal, so like they're thinking that in 2 years something is gonna happen, right? The team's probably gonna turn a corner, be relevant, whatever it is. I thought that was pretty interesting. All the contracts like
Jesus, we
are
just saw
ending
Miller's
around the same
junk.
time.
That was pretty interesting too. Good God.
Yes, X-rated podcast keeps delivering, guys. I love it. Want to go back to NFL, if that's okay with you guys. You know, we only have 3 weeks left to talk NFL. I mean, don't worry, people. We'll talk about it a little bit more than that. But the playoffs just happened, and you guys know I love to focus on the quarterbacks that were playing in the championship game on the NFC side and the AFC side, just to like show you guys the disparity right there. Okay. Pop quiz, guys. Who do you think was the most expensive quarterback to play this weekend?
Patrick Mahomes.
Chris?
Like overall or per year?
Per year, cap hit wise.
Yeah, Mahomes.
You guys are right. Mahomes was at 37 million. Did you guys know all of the NFC quarterback combined probably had a less cap hit than Mahomes had by himself? Because NFC had Brock Purdy with a 900K cap hit, Jared Goff at 31 mil given, Love at 4.5 million, and Baker at 1.7 million dollars. So all of those quarterbacks combined probably didn't even get paid what Mahomes got paid.
But Baker was on a 1-year deal anyway with Tampa, wasn't he?
He is, yeah, he was, I think.
Yeah, I mean, with his performance, especially the
think
season
he's
where
gonna
they
sign
were,
there.
yeah, I mean, I would love to see him in a Bear uniform, but you know, it
Please
is what
don't
it is.
embarrass yourself by saying that.
He was better than
Yes.
Fields.
He's not.
Okay, we'll have plenty of time to debate that. But the other quarterbacks on the AFC side were Lamar with a 222 million cap hit, and Allen with the 18 million cap hit. Stroud was the cheapest, and he had a 6.5 million cap hit.
Was Lamar's contract? Would that have included the cap hit? The new one? Is that the new one?
Yeah, but you know it's usually ascending, right? So this is probably the lowest his cap hit is going to be for like a couple of years.
Okay. I thought it'd be higher. Not gonna lie.
Yeah, me too. Like even seeing 37 for Mahomes, I thought would be higher. But no, I thought that was fascinating. There's a big debate in paying a quarterback, right? Saying if the teams that usually pay a big fat ransom to the quarterback don't end up winning, so the two divisions somehow have a different approach to it. AFC is like paying its quarterback and getting results, while NFC, which was the lesser division between the two, I think this year. There's a different opinion going on, so I thought that was fascinating, and I wanted to bring it up to you guys.
I don't know if that's 100% true though, because if you look at Jordan Love, I think it's still like they didn't know what they were expecting. His number's probably going to increase. Some people didn't expect Baker to be where he's at. Stroud wasn't expected to be where he's at. So like, obviously Brock is going to be team friendly. I think for 2 more years, 1 more year.
I think he's going to
3
get
more
paid
years?
this offseason.
3 more
This
years.
offseason,
Yeah.
he better get paid this offseason. Is all I got.
So like,
He's not
I
getting
think
paid this offseason.
What? He just took the team to the freaking championship game.
This is his second year.
second one. This is his second conference appearance too, by the way.
He's not going to get paid until maybe next year. At the very least.
If I'm San Francisco, I want him locked up for.
He is locked up for 3 fucking years. Why are you going to pay him?
If anything, they'll do bonus incentives. They'll probably incentivize him on that end, but like,
Not going to pay someone early.
I mean, you never know. If it's a team friendly deal that they could both work out, you never know. It's possible. I'm not saying it's not, but I'm saying like some of these numbers, I could see it being flawed. I think if we look at the next playoffs next year, and we kind of see the quarterbacks and where they're at, I think that would be a good comparison.
good
I just don't think
indicator.
people were expecting Baker, Stroud to be in this list.
Yeah, it's
At
like
the end of the day, it's 25% of the league that played this weekend. So I mean, you're gonna get lesser
Like-
quarterbacks.
Baker was like the 50th most paid quarterback. So there were like 49 other quarterbacks making more
He's
than him.
obviously overachieved. That's no
Yeah,
doubt.
Mhm.
Just
and
like
then like
CJ
I
Stroud.
think Brock was like probably top 75 if I remember. So it's like
Shit,
I
he
don't
was
know.
Mr. Irrelevant. Like
I
that
know, but
team
like
is
it's just
loaded with talent.
fascinating.
I think we talked a little bit before in previous episodes. We weren't expecting Texans to be playoff contenders, and we didn't think Baker was going to be what he was too. Like Baker had a successful season. Like there's no other way around it. So
You know, I just thought
I'm
it was
intrigued to see.
fascinating.
I'm intrigued to see what his numbers come up for a contract. So that'll be another point of contention.
Yeah, absolutely.
It'll be interesting to see if he earns it. That's what'll be interesting.
You
Or
don't
if
think you don't think he's gotten enough to earn a high number? I'm not saying like top 5. I'm saying like a high
he's
number.
gonna get it. I'm not saying that he's not gonna get it, but it'll be interesting if he earns it.
Like,
will it be
would you
worth
say-
it? Is he gonna
Well,
take a step
earning
back
worth
next
is
year?
obviously different, but can we agree 10 to 15 mil a year
Dude?
Oh no,
no.
add more than that.
It's gonna be
Look at what
35 to 40.
yeah.
for Baker?
Look at what Daniel Jones and Geno Smith got.
Look at what he
Like,
did
I think
this. I
that's-
mean, Chris, you're not wrong.
How-
He had a really good season,
How old
but
is he?
he's only had one good season. Like
But
everything
to
else has
be-
been mediocre.
Oh, he's 28. Okay.
To be fair, he was a number 1 overall pick, wasn't he?
Mhm.
Yeah, he just needed, but like Tampa Bay, I think is in a lot of cap hell. They have to figure some stuff out.
Yeah, and
They have
Mike
a left-
Evans may not be there next
Yeah,
year. And,
Mike
you know,
Evans, their left tackle, their safety. I think a couple of people need to get paid, so they have to figure all that stuff out. But having Baker on a team-friendly deal probably is in their best interest.
But
Well,
he's
see,
gonna
you guys
get money.
You guys say that. I just took a quick look at his stats. Every year that he has started for a team, which is really just Cleveland and Tampa, that he has over 10 starts as part of the franchise. He's thrown for over 3,000 yards. 4 of them were over 3,500, and this last season he threw for over 4,000. So
Look at
I
his
think
touchdowns to interceptions. He's known for his turnovers. He turns the ball over. He's very much Brett Favre like.
28-10 this year though is pretty nice.
We're not talking about this year. I literally just said that.
I mean, there's
I
a
mean-
reason he bounced around to so many teams.
He got
Chris,
traded
like-
to Carolina and then traded to the Rams. There's a reason why he didn't get signed by either of those teams. Like,
Well, let's be honest. I mean, Carolina, they were gonna move from him anyway. They got the number 1 pick. When he went to the Rams, they
he
had
was traded
fucking
mid-season. He was traded mid-season because it didn't work out.
yeah,
They
but
didn't. They were not guaranteed that they were going to get the number 1 or 2 pick.
but it wasn't a good team.
I mean,
Okay,
they
which
didn't
is
have a
even
good team
more
around
pertinent
him.
to having a quarterback that is like Baker. And if he
They moved
obviously
away
didn't work
from
there-
him and gave the start to Sam Darnold, who
Yeah.
did some good things in Carolina after him. But
and then he
Right, and where
went
is he
sent to
now?
the Rams.
no, but like
49ers.
Baker himself said, Rams like learning with Sean McVay like changed the way he looks at football.
Yeah, that's what I'm saying. Like,
Like,
with the
I
right
think,
coach,
like,
with the right
he-
team, you can be successful. And I think Tampa with him is a good example.
Like McVay.
I don't think it'll.
Also, I think that quarterback coach, who's their offensive coordinator, I think is like a genius guy. I think he is the real like money man there. But that's just me. What's his name? Oh crap! Miller, do you remember his name? I'll look up his name. But like I think he's the real deal there too. Okay. Quick recap of the NFL playoffs before we move on. We may have a conspiracy theory after this, just to entertain you guys.
Boobin,
But,
can I take this part over? Because I have questions.
Yes, please do.
Sure. All right. We're going to go with, was it exciting, according to Michael Miller? So, Miller, we have some scores to give you, and you're just going to tell me if it was an exciting game or if it was not, if it was boring. So, we have the Ravens against the Texans. That score was 34-10. Exciting or no?
It was intriguing in the first half, and then it got. Nah. Once
Okay,
Lamar
so then-
became Lamar, and once Roquan became Roquan, and they ran away.
Okay, so
with it
your
in the
logic
second
from
half.
last week is already down the shitter. All right, so we go to the next one
Why is my logic from last week down the shitter?
because
It
you
was
said if it
10-10
was
at
a
halftime.
blowout, you would stop watching.
All of the games last week were blowouts from the beginning to the end. That's why it was bad.
But
Not
this is
first
beginning
half,
to
also
the end. I think beginning to the end is a little exaggeration,
really?
but
it's a
okay.
little bit of
because
exaggeration.
the
I think
49ers coach came out and said in the second quarter of their game that he was already looking at Packers film. So you can continue to use your logic, but my logic's correct. So you
Yes,
can move
one
on.
of the 8 games, one of the coaches said that, and that's true for entire NFL.
all right, we have the 49ers beating the Packers 24-21. Exciting.
Of course it was exciting. It was close.
Okay.
It was back and forth, and Brock Purdy almost blew it, but then he came in. He was horrible all game, and then the last drive he came out of nowhere and
The
I will
got it
say it was
together
nice to
and
see.
let a
It
touchdown.
was nice to
drive.
see Jones like be productive in that game, though. He had over 100 yards, so that
Why
was
he's
fun.
been productive for like the last
But
5 weeks.
but from like a playoff, like a close game, it
He
was
just
nice to
tore up
see
the
it.
Cowboys. What the hell are you
Yeah,
getting
but
about?
like, I mean, it's the 49ers though. Like, come on, it feels different. I don't know. It's
Yeah,
my
that's
opinion.
one of the reasons why I'm probably
Um,
taking the Lions this week because the 49ers run
the
defense has
well,
not been good.
don't give us spoilers, you jerk. I'm still giving scores here. We have the Lions and the Buccaneers. Lions beat them 31-23. Was it exciting, Miller?
I don't think
yeah,
so, personally.
8 points, Miller. That was not exciting, right?
How was it not exciting?
It wasn't 8 points. The Lions were up by.
It was tied going into the fourth.
It was not.
Yes, it was.
I don't remember.
Fact check that.
I will.
You know
All
what?
I know is
I'll
the
let
Lions
you.
were up
I'll
by
let
2
you do it.
touchdowns.
I'll let you go ahead and get proven wrong per usual. And lastly, it was the Bills.
The bottom
and the
line
Chiefs.
is the Lions were up by 14 points until Tampa Bay started to make a little bit of a comeback. And then
Boobin,
Todd
did you look
Bowles
it up
made
yet?
some.
Boobin,
It
you
was
look it up already?
tied. It was tied going to the fourth.
Yeah, exactly. Get wrecked. And then there was Chiefs Bills
I
at
didn't watch a
Bills
lick of it.
27-24.
He,
You
he
asshole.
seemed pretty confident. So.
I know. Of course they did.
Was it exciting?
Yeah.
Yeah. One thing I
Mahomes being
will.
Mahomes, Taylor being Taylor. Of course it was
Oh,
exciting.
Taylor
like-
getting booed and
Jason
that was
being Jason. It was a great
Jason
game.
Kelsey stole the show, but Taylor getting booed was hilarious to me. And the fact that Jason Kelsey did so much in that environment, we have to try to go to a Bills game before they make that new stadium. I would love to experience a Bills tailgate. Like
Why
that
does
just
it
seems
matter
like a
if it's a new
blast.
stadium? You really think it's going to change anything?
I think so. I think with new things a little bit like you get elevated a little bit.
Not
Boopin.
Buffalo, dude.
Boopin, what was your favorite game of the weekend?
I was gonna say the Chiefs. I don't know. It was good to see the Lions win. I think again generational blah 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 blah. I thought the Chiefs Buffalo game such a good game. Had that third down play become a touchdown, the second down play become something different, we would be talking about freaking Allen in the championship game finally beats Mahomes. Blah 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 blah. Right? Back and forth. It's one play, one fourth down play. It just makes all the difference.
Do you
Fuck, that
think
was a good
the
game.
Bills windows closing catching up to the Chiefs?
I was actually going to ask you this. I think they need to make some changes. They just ran it back, right? Basically, the entire team added James Cook and ran it back. Maybe with some help on defense. I think they need to switch things up a little bit. Maybe get a new wide receiver in there. I don't know. Stephon Diggs was a non-factor. He had 3 catches or something.
I think Stephon Diggs needs to be traded. I don't know
think
if
he's gone.
I think he needs to be.
They came out this week and said that he's their number one. I think he's gone. There's no.
Okay. Question for you guys, and I think I know the answer, but if you had the option, I don't know how, but you had an option to become a Bills fan or a Bears fan, would you rather have the disappointed of being bad for so long, ruining quarterbacks, whatever we have going on, versus being a Bills fan where they're relevant, but freaking Mahomes always kills them in the playoff? Which one would you choose?
Oh, that's.
I think I like the Bears situation better right now.
Yeah, but
It's
he's saying you're saying from like a couple of years, right? You're not just saying
yeah,
this
like
season.
the last since
I
let's
think
say
I would
Allen got
have
drafted.
I think I would have more fun being a Bills fan than I would a Bears fan. Given the last couple seasons.
I feel like it's gonna hurt more. No, like you were good.
But the season is still fun. You're winning.
But look at where
Hey,
the Bears
remember
are
that.
at. They're on the up.
Hey,
They're on the up.
hey,
Don't give me that. The Bears
Chris,
have been on
remember
the up
that
since
they were good in the regular season, but that was fun. I remember in this podcast people saying it's Super Bowl
or
your
bust.
team sucked, right?
Yeah.
That's
Yeah.
interesting
But like
saying that.
but you're telling me from a fan perspective. From a fan perspective,
You
I
just
think
like it because of all the TikToks. That's the only reason you like it.
I mean, not just that, but Allen, you wouldn't want Allen in a Bears uniform?
So, okay, question. Would you trade the overall number 1 pick for Josh Allen?
Yes.
No.
Yes. Heartbeat.
Not this year. Maybe any other year.
That's a good one. That's a good question. I don't think
that's a great question. Yes. Why not? Hold on. Why not?
Because
you solidify the quarterback position for the next 5-7 years.
He's
paying him
I don't know.
$30+ million.
Yeah, and then
we would have still. If Fields had a great year,
26?
we would have paid him the same amount in 2. You're solidifying him for the next 5-7. It's the wrong argument.
No, it's not. It's the right argument.
I mean, he's not gotten over the hump.
If Fields had a great year this year and has a great next year, okay, but if Fields had a great year this year, has a great year next year, you would not have been like the money that Fields would make would either be equivalent to Allen.
Been? Why do we care about what could have?
You're bringing up money though. Like I'm saying, right now.
And I'm bringing up the fact that I have the overall number 1 pick with my pick of the litter of quarterbacks that I have more confidence in going forward.
So you would take Caleb.
Josh
so
Allen,
you would take Caleb 1,
paying him $30+ $40 million.
Okay, so what you're saying is you would take Caleb 1, you would leave him on a rookie deal for the 5 years. If he does great, has Josh Allen numbers, are you paying Caleb plus 30?
Yeah.
It's the same thing if you have Allen now.
No, but Allen is 27, and
I
he's
got
not
5 years
over
of Caleb on the up and up.
Yeah,
but
where I'm strapped. I'm strapped.
I guess I'm looking at it from I'm looking at it more from like
right now perspective.
Yes,
like,
from a right now. Yes, like
I get it.
Like if we're talking, you're solidifying the quarterback position. It will never be talked about for the next 7 years max.
Okay,
what has Allen done? Okay, what has Allen done? He's led the league in turnovers. He's led the league in interceptions.
Oh, let's not even. Oh God!
What do you mean?
Come on,
we're not going to talk about stats.
Hold on, I'll pull him up.
Exciting quarterback. Hang on, like
I'm not denying that, but he's acting like he's the end all be all, and he hasn't even gotten to the AFC Championship game.
Can we give our flowers to Patrick Mahomes though? I think it's his 5th consecutive AFC Championship game. 6th consecutive AFC. So basically, every year he's been in the league, he's been to the AFC Championship game.
Yeah.
Like, can we give that man the flowers?
Yeah, we'll give that. Yeah, sure. But hold on, you told me to pull stats on Allen. You can talk about his turnovers. His last 3 years, 29 touchdowns, 18 interceptions, 35 touchdowns, 14 interceptions, 36 touchdowns, 15 interceptions. You wouldn't want those numbers as your quarterback?
Chris, you can you stop saying that? Like, the option is Caleb Williams or Josh Allen. No, I don't want Josh Allen over Caleb Williams. Like, you say that I don't want those stats. Of course I want those stats. Look what I just fucking dealt with Justin Fields. But that's not the question.
But what I'm saying is we can't keep bringing up turnovers when the man has great numbers.
He's turning the ball over 20+ times a year.
He hasn't hit
about
20.
That? You're not even counting fumbles.
Who actually does count fumbles for quarterbacks? So come on, let's be honest.
Great, it's fantastic. You do every time Fields does it, so it's funny.
He's a running quarterback, of course. He's a running quarterback.
So is Josh Allen. Go look at his rushing numbers. Josh Allen is probably 3rd in the league in rushing as a quarterback. So I love your arguments here. So anytime you want to admit you're wrong and move on, go for it.
Hold on, I'm actually gonna look because I'm looking. He actually ran for 500 yards this year. So
he runs for 500.
He's a running quarterback.
Yeah,
he's better than fucking Fields.
I don't know if he's a running quarterback, but he can run. Yeah, he can throw.
And you can't even say that because most of those are not even rushing. They could be sacks, fumbles. They could that number is flawed when it comes to that. So no, you're still wrong.
We will keep that in mind. But like when he again, he's very similar to Fields if Fields was like, had done some good
Oh
things first.
no! See, no,
They
come on,
run.
Come on.
come
Like,
on. Mitter's
I'm
gonna come
saying-
on my side now.
Don't
Good
No, no,
say
no.
God!
similar to Fields. Jesus.
Like
Christ.
good deep ball, like inaccurate sometimes. Like runs really well. I agree. You guys don't have to agree with me, but I think that's like a good comp if Fields had done a little bit better. I think it's a good comp.
A little
Again,
bit better?
had.
A little
Yeah,
bit
that's
better?
what I'm like. Like you
Jesus.
can't say if I can't use that same argument that had and whatnot. I even said like if Fields has had a great year this year and has a great year next year, he's gonna make over 30 plus. Like
Okay.
it is what it is. Like and also, fucking Allen throws better than Fields.
I mean,
Like,
the only
there's-
thing I'll give you, Boopin, is that they have good deep balls. That's about as far as I'll go to support your argument, because other than
How about
that,
running? I think running, they have very similar running styles too.
they're not even close. Fields is like
No?
3,000% better than Allen running. Come on.
Oh, you're saying Fields is better. Okay.
Yes.
Sorry. I thought you were saying Allen was better. So I was gonna take him down. But okay. Chris, take us down conspiracy lane, please. What
Sure.
questions do you have for us?
So we want to find out if the NFL is rigged.
This was
And
actually me.
Well, if you watch the agenda, you would know that it was me, but that's okay.
I didn't know I could watch
There-
it.
It's gonna be Chiefs and Ravens. It's gonna be the game where if the NFL is rigged and they want the best team, one of the best teams in the NFL, to make it to the Super Bowl, which would be the Ravens. There's a 40% chance that the Ravens win at home, which
Oh my
I'm
God!
hearing-
Just stop talking. You
I'm
just
hearing-
stop talking.
hold on.
I'm the one that put
Hold-
this on the
hold
agenda,
on.
and I'm the one
Hold
that's
on.
talking.
I even want to
You're
say
not making
something
any
though.
sense.
Hold on. I want to say something though. Is Baltimore actually like one of the best home field advantages out there? I've been hearing
Yeah,
that
it
a lot
is.
in the last couple of weeks, and I
Sure
did
it
not hear
is.
that during the season.
That's
That's impressive.
They had a
What I
killer
just put on
season.
that agenda is nothing about what you're talking about.
Well, if do you think the Chiefs will get help to win the game?
Do you want me to make my point?
I'm waiting.
Okay, so the NFL Twitter was on fire this week in regards to the
Typical Twitter.
officiating crew for the Baltimore Kansas City Chief game. Why, you may ask? Well, Mr. Smith, who is the crew chief for the team, has a surprising stat that goes with his name. The opposite of what the league average is. So for his crew working games, the home team wins 40% of the time. That's right. The home team wins 40% of the time. League average across all officiating crews, the home team wins 55% of the time. That is a 15% difference from league average. Isn't it interesting that they're officiating the Kansas City Baltimore Ravens game in which Taylor Swift is going to be cheering for the road team?
Again, it's the same exact thing that I said. But that's fine.
I'm done with these conspiracies. Did you see the whole thing about the Baker?
The logos.
No,
the
the
NFL
logos.
the
Yes, I'm
Super
not
Bowl
even going to touch
logo.
that. I'm not going to touch that. But the Tampa Bay Detroit game, there was some pundits looking at when Goff took a knee. It was 38 seconds or something on the clock, and it was 3rd and 12. And if they had kicked a field goal and missed it, if they had punted and whatever,
I mean,
right?
that's kind of valid, isn't it?
But
Why
like,
are you
I
saying
think
it's wrong?
I'm not saying it's wrong, but I'm saying they did it for the spirit of the game. But now
What's
they're
that?
coming up. It's a
What do
conspiracy.
you
Like,
mean they did it for the spirit of the game?
like they
The
thought
bottom line
that
isn't in
they
that
thought like
situation.
you have 2 downs, the 4th down play and the 3rd down play. We have 1 timeout. So even if we call a timeout, even like if they punt on 4th down, the chances of them winning is like 6 seconds on the clock, and they have to drive the
No, it's
length
more
of the
than
field.
that,
So
isn't it?
it was 37 seconds, and it was 3rd and 12 is what I saw. So even if they stopped them, like they'll have like, I don't know, 6 seconds on the clock. Like maybe it's a squib play. I don't know. There's like so many things they could do,
The
right?
3rd down play ran, but I could be wrong. I
The
think
third
it
down
was
play was
point-
a knee. I think a knee was a third down
and I
play.
think they could have called timeout, which would have stopped the clock.
Right.
So
and
then
they had about 31 seconds, and then there's a fourth down
it would
play
have
which
had the ball, the field
Detroit
goal
could
would
have
been kicked.
Detroit could have like punted the ball, right?
No, they would
So,
have
like,
kicked the field goal, and then it would have been a 10-point game with 30 seconds on the clock. So I wouldn't necessarily think it's wrong. I mean, at
Like,
the end
the
of the
whole
day, it's a
conspiracy
winner
theory
take all
was
game.
like the conspiracy theories were like, oh, they knew they had to lose, that's why they. But like Tampa just made it a
That's
game after
stupid.
scoring.
I mean, I get both sides. I get why Bowles didn't do it because realistically, scoring.
But
10
like, there's
points in
legit
30
like
seconds.
Greg Jennings, I think, who was no, not I think it was Greg Jennings, the running back from the Giants, something Jennings, Rashad Jennings. He had a whole video on X just like explaining why it's a conspiracy, and I'm just like over all this like stupid shit.
I don't know. I kind of would see the player's point of view over anybody's else, right?
So
Like,
let me just ask this question, and then I'm gonna preface it with a point, and then we'll get to the main segment. Before any of this, did anyone have the Ravens actually going to the Super Bowl?
yeah.
I think
You
we all
had-
did.
I think okay. So
I
right
think-
now, given the once because I found about this website called Covers, it keeps track of money line and spread bets and whatnot. So ever since the game was announced, there has been no change on the spread of the game on multiple websites, which is at 3.5. It dwindled to 3, but it still has Baltimore as a favorite. So with that, I think that's gonna be kind of interesting if it's a conspiracy theory and Kansas City wins and they're only a 3.5 point favorite. I don't know. I felt like with that kind of advantage, I would have seen them be like a 6 or something, or I've seen higher
usually,
numbers.
like, if you're a home team, you have a 3-point average. That's what you get,
Right.
like, and then
So
like if
what
you're
I'm saying,
better,
Home field advantage.
if you're better,
is
you
3
would get a
points.
little bit more, not just 3.5. That's what I'm.
Home
That's
team
what I was getting at.
advantage. Home field advantage gives the team 3 points. So basically, the spread is signaling that this is an even game.
yeah.
Right. And so what I was, and that's what I brought up with the whole like if the Ravens are like a true like home advantage, I probably would have seen maybe I don't know what would be another spread number like 5 -5. I don't know what I've
four and a
seen.
half,
I
5.
don't know
Something
what you're
like that.
saying. I don't know what you're saying. All I
That's
know
okay,
is
Miller.
the
Only
Chiefs
me,
have-
me and Boopin are the smartest ones here. We get what we were talking about. That makes
Oh shit, you people. Bill's Miller picked to go to the Super Bowl, so Miller's out. Chris, you picked the Dolphins.
I picked the Dolphins on a whim. I wanted
So
them
I
to
was the
win
only
so
one
bad.
that said Cowboys Ravens.
Yeah.
You guys.
Yeah, Cowboys were out last week there, Chief.
I know, but Ravens, I got it right. So fuck you.
Yeah,
well,
right
you're
now,
you're still
I think
alive.
I'm
You're
alive
still
for one of
alive.
mine, too.
You're
Yes,
49ers,
for
right?
49ers.
Yeah, I think so.
I think I'm completely out. I said
No, you
Cowboys
said
and-
49ers. No, you
oh, I
said
did.
49ers.
Oh well,
Yeah.
shit. Hey Miller, we're on the same boat. Want to hold hands?
No.
But like, if
I
you're
hate you.
right, the conspiracy theory, you'll both be out tomorrow. So
That would kind of be true.
right?
Yeah, it will be. It'll happen. It's Patrick
So
Mahomes.
so everyone thinks Kansas City's winning.
No, I think
Besides
the Ravens
Boopin?
are winning.
No,
I think the
what's your pick?
I
I
think the Ravens are winning.
Yeah, I think they win somebody.
Fuck it. I want Taylor Swift. Give me Kansas City.
All right, what do you think, Chuck bet?
I'll do a Chuck bet.
Jesus
All right,
Christ.
you're
I'll do a
on.
Chuck bet. Also, I'd love to see the Lions make it. But
I think the Lions have a decent shot at this. Take the Lions plus the points, especially if Debo doesn't play.
Wait,
What
I
are
thought he
they
was
at?
playing.
No,
Is this still
didn't even
a game
practice
time?
today.
Okay,
He didn't even
all
practice
right.
today. He's got a shoulder injury. I believe Purdy is 0-5 without Debo.
Okay, all right. We are headed to the last section now, where we look into the wide receiver, the running back, and the tight end segment. I believe, Chris, you wanted to host this segment. You still want to do it?
because there's already too much information for me. So we'll let the best stat guys in the business here, talk about the Chicago Bears positions and whether they did a good job or not. So we'll go ahead and start with the wide receivers. Miller, you want to start us off with DJ Moore?
Yeah, let's talk about the wide receivers and how they did this year. Really, it's a one-man show. and everybody knows him. He's the man in the middle for the Chicago Bears, and that's DJ Moore. DJ Moore set career highs in TDs as well as yards with 1,364 yards and 8 TDs. He was top 10 in the league in both categories, and he had 96 receptions with, I believe, was 12th. He had a PFF grade, which who knows, of 89.4 as a wide receiver. So
No one cares about PFF. Go JJ Watt.
Conspiracy theories. Here we go.
DJ Moore, his presence was felt from the first preseason game that he played, where he took 2 balls to the house. And that was probably one of the most surprising things that I wasn't expecting with DJ was his run after the catch ability, because I would say probably 400 of his yards were due to his fantastic run after the catch. So can't be no complaints here with his production. That trade that Poles made to bring him in is one of those that'll go down in history. The Chicago Bears. Hopefully, we end up getting Caleb Williams with that number 1 pick, and everything's golden next year. As far as getting back to DJ, he ranks as the 5th receiver in NFL franchise history for the Bears to reach the 1,300 yard mark, which is not saying too much considering our lack of wide receiver talent, but it's still impressive. The one key fact with the Fields and DJ Moore combo is Fields had a 97.1 QBR when targeting DJ. I mean, you can't deny the connection that was there between DJ Moore and Justin Fields. It's probably, he literally single-handedly made this a discussion on whether the Bears should keep Fields or draft Caleb. It's mainly because of the production that DJ Moore had this year. He was asked about his future, and he was quoted on saying he wants to be here 5 more years, at least. What are your thoughts, guys? Do you think he's going to be here long term?
Dude, come on, we need him. We haven't had a wide receiver we can cheer for since probably Brandon Marshall. Come on.
I don't know, man. I'd love to see it. I think I'm just more in like, I don't know what this team is going to look like in the next couple of years. So
I think it'll come down to what happens in this draft. Personally, if we draft a young guy, I mean, I think he signed a 3 or 4 year deal with us, so he's definitely going to be then. But I wouldn't mind seeing DJ retire as a Bear. That's for damn sure.
I wouldn't mind either. I know we didn't really talk about, but Bears hiring the offensive coordinator. I don't know if some consider
we talked about that last week.
But I think
he was the reason DK Metcalf said he taught me how to run routes and stuff like that.
And I think one of the comparisons I saw on Twitter was that this coordinator can do wonders with nothing. So I don't know if that's a good thing or a bad thing for the Bears, given the situation that we're in. But we'll see. I think he's going to flourish, though. But I do think that he's going to have that competitive edge. If the Bears are not competitive, he's going to want out. So
he doesn't seem like a diva to me.
That's not being a diva. That's just being a winner.
It's a diva. What year, Miller? He signed through what year? How many years under contract? More?
I think it was 3 or 4 years.
Okay, cool. Just want to make sure. Thank you.
I think I don't remember if we gave him an extension or not. I think he might have had 3 more years on his contract when we brought him over.
Okay.
Moving on to everybody else in the wide receiver room that were basically irrelevant. First off, Darnell Mooney. He was unfortunately at one time considered and argued about being a wide receiver 1 for this team. He produced 414 yards and 1 touchdown. He was very much uninvolved with this offense. And the only time he was actually talked about was when they were talking about how uninvolved he actually was. Very surprising to see the drop-off that he had this year, especially with him having a contract year. His biggest... I wouldn't even call it a highlight. It's actually a non-highlight. Was when he dropped the Hail Mary against the Browns that would have won him the game. I mean, I don't fault him for it personally. I'm probably one of the few, but as a wide receiver, when you're falling backwards, it's pretty hard to maintain a ball. But hey, that was probably the most memorable moment. It'll be interesting to see how his offseason goes. He is an unrestricted free agent. Would you guys want him to be re-signed, or you think it's bye-bye?
I would love to see him on a team-friendly deal, but I don't know what that looks like for his numbers. 414 yards. Come on, that's not enough. I don't know. Probably 3-year, 15 million, something like that would be great if he signs that.
I think he's gone.
I think we're gonna be clearing house here with a lot of these positions.
I disagree with that, but we'll move on. Travis Scott was one of our rookies that came in from this past year. He was I believe, a 4th-round rookie, and he posted a respectable 168 yards. Unfortunately, one of the biggest takeaways from fans this year in regards to Scott was a big drop. I believe it was the Browns game as well, or it might have been the Detroit game. Forget. It was one of those.
It was a Detroit game. I think the
Was it the
Browns
Detroit?
game was Tunyon. Well, we'll talk about it in a minute.
Yeah, I think I'm remembering now. It was Detroit. Yeah, it was the Detroit game down the field. It just hit his fingertips. That was the biggest takeaway. He is a rookie. He had flashes of some good route running ability, so we'll see what he translates into. Obviously, we don't need a number 1 since we have DJ, but we'll see if he becomes anything more than just a number 3, number 4 wide receiver. After that, we have, my favorite, Velus fucking Jones Jr., who can't be cut soon enough. But I will say he had a non-awful season. That's how I'll put it, and that's how I'm going to keep it. He was mainly a special teamer. And the one positive I will say about him is I don't remember saying his name this year. He didn't have any fumbles or dropped punts that I recall during the season. I may be wrong on that, but at the end of the year, he did have some respectable returns, even though I do still hate when they run out of the end zone. Just hit the fucking punchback, people. But he's kind of more of our gadget. What?
Yeah, he's on a pretty good, he's on a second year. He just finished his second year of his rookie deal. He's making 1.2 mil next year, so not bad. If he continues growing in this trajectory, I don't think that's a bad number.
I don't know how I feel about him. If he's only a special teamer and he can't really do anything else and he's still muffin punts, I don't really want him on this team. We'll see where it goes. He does offer some gadget playability, so maybe he'll probably end up staying, because I doubt Poles is going to cut his wide receiver draft pick this early. Outside of that, the only other wide receiver worth mentioning is Equanimeous St. Brown. He is what he is, man. He was brought in to serve as a blocking wide receiver. He did just that. And all things considered, I mean, this team was probably one of the best running teams in the NFL, and he's one of the reasons why. So props to him. But my question before we move on, we talk a lot about some people really want the Bears to draft Marvin Harrison Jr. Do you honestly think that Justin Fields can support 3 weapons in DJ Moore, Marvin Harrison Jr., and Cole Kmet?
No.
It's an interesting question. I think if he comes on, likely he'll be maybe second fiddle first year, becomes the number 1 wide receiver the following year. With the current passing game, no. The game has to evolve for him to successfully support all 3.
Okay, but from a play calling or from Fields himself?
I mean, how do you know the difference between the two?
Yeah. We did say throughout the season that most of the play calling that we saw was kind of questionable at best. It wasn't going to his.
He's gone.
We weren't really.
He got fired.
Yeah, but again, if we're talking, you're making it seem like we are not going to draft Caleb Williams, and if we decide to go,
asking a
Harrison,
fucking question.
Yeah, but it's not even a good question if you already have your heart set on Williams. It's like
it's my opinion. Doesn't mean it's gonna happen.
I know, but I like picking on you, so it's fun.
Can he support 2 wide receivers and a tight end? I don't think he can. That's why I don't want him to draft Marvin Harrison that high.
Yeah, I'm agreeing with you on that one,
Did
Miller.
did Poles draft Velus, or was it the previous?
Poles did. That was his wide receiver draft pick from last year, 3rd round.
All right. You completed St. Brown.
That's all
You
I
right?
got for wide receivers there. Poppy.
Thank you. Let's move on to the running back. Bears, I think, had a running back by committee approach to running backs since the beginning of the year, and it only got more complicated after the draft. Khalil Herbert led the Bears with 132 carries, 611 yards, 2 rushing touchdowns. He also had 31 targets, 134 yards, and 1 touchdown there. He is 26 years old. He has 1 million cap hit, but he is on the last year of his deal. So if they want to lock him up, this is the year.
Wait, is he have? I thought he had another year.
I think 2024 is his last year.
So he has another year.
I mean, this coming year.
This is his last year. Next year is his last year.
Yeah, this year, as in we're in
Next
2024.
season. Let's say it's stop
Next
saying year.
season.
Next season. There
Next
you go.
season. Thank you. Next season. I did all of that for the same thing. I look ahead, basically thinking we're in a new league year, even though we're not. That's how I look into this. But 2024 will be his last season on this deal. He started the year okay, but then he, like Denver and Washington, the 4th and 5th week, he really picked up. But then he got hurt. Kind of like the Field story. Took a while for him to come back, but then he finished the year strong with 236 yards and 2 touchdowns in the last 2 home games. Big question for the Bears. What do they do with him? We do have Roschon Johnson, who was a rookie we picked up this year, who had 81 carries, 352 yards. He flashed in the preseason and was supposed to like grow by the end of the year, but I think he never saw more than 10 carries or had more than 40 yards in a game all season. He's good in pass protection. R.I.P. Monty, but he never broke out. So will he ever be the guy?
He didn't get enough carries. Stupid fucking coaching staff.
Even like I guess he never saw more than 10 carries. So you're right. But I think there were some games where he was the biggest ball carrier, even though it was under 10. But that's where we are. He's on his second year now. Second year of 4 deal. This new season will be. He has a 900K cap hit, so very friendly, and he's only 23 years old. So, upside pick, a good 3rd down back, I think, but maybe he'll not grow to be more than that. We'll see.
No, you have to have an organization that actually gives him a chance. I don't understand how you're writing him off. A good 3rd down back. They didn't give him a fucking chance. He was praised as the steal of the draft that we'll get to in future episodes this year. He was praised as the steal of the draft, and they never gave him
before
a fucking
the season
opportunity.
began, right?
Yeah, they never gave him an opportunity to really take those reins. He
Fair.
showed flashes. He's a good pass blocker, and for some reason, this team relied on Deontay Foreman to carry the load, even though he's not going to be here this year. So you can transition Deontay. I had my Roschon Johnson fix because I think they should have done more.
Okay. With Deontay Foreman, who Miller said had 109 carries with the Bears, 4 touchdowns, 425 yards. He's 28 years old. He's a free agent in 2024 season. He had signed a 1-year, $1.5 million deal. That was a prize off-season pick because he had a great. He was supposed to be the replacement for Monty. He had a great 2022 season with the Carolina Panthers, but once we drafted Johnson, probably hurt his stocks a lot. He was inactive in a bunch of games. Had a pretty bad breakup at the end. Unsure what happened there. He was basically bashing the team on social media. But when the Bears needed him in the middle of the season and injuries plagued him, he was dominant. I remember the Vegas game where he had 3 touchdowns. Like, again, he showed up when we needed help. So props to him. He'll probably go to a different team. He probably won't come back with the Bears.
Yeah, he was really good during the year, that's for sure. Yeah, you hit him on the nose. I mean, he was basically he was the 3rd string running back, right? The 3rd string starting running back, and they don't play. He doesn't do special teams, so he doesn't play. So if you have Khalil and you have Roschon, guess who's the odd man out? That was the disconnect. That's what happens.
Miller's just helping me with the transitions today. Special teams.
I don't understand why you're drafting Roschon Johnson and you're going to pay him. It just didn't make sense.
Well,
it worked out.
Dante was signed before the draft, I think.
Yeah, then why do you
That
draft Roshan? Maybe they
so
just drafted
so
for
was
value.
I think it
so
might have been a
was
value pick too. Might have been
I
a
mean
value pick.
1.5 million Miller, like that is steal, right? In the NFL
Not
terms.
that's literally
That's
veteran
normal
running
for a
back.
1-year deal.
But
That's the
look at
normal
his
for 1-year
look
deals,
at his
though.
2022 stats, please.
No, but
It
hold on.
wasn't that
If
great.
you're talking about like
He
a
he
lot of
probably had
like
800 yards at least.
I mean,
a
that's
lot of
not that great.
a lot of prove me contracts are around 1 to 1.5
Yeah.
million. So
I mean, especially running backs, they're low. Like you don't pay a lot to running backs. I've preached it all fucking season.
Hey,
Don't pay a lot to running backs.
Miller, I know you're upset your buddy Jim Irsay was found OD'd on some floor
allegedly,
couple of
stop it.
weekends ago, but
Allegedly.
take it easy,
Hey,
okay?
God.
hey, how many running backs are paid out of the final teams?
Hey, Josh Jacobs got paid, Saquon Barkley got paid,
And
even
they're not even in the playoffs.
Jonathan
in the-
Taylor
over
got
500.
paid.
Jesus,
Wasn't
this is
even
taking
over
a turn.
500.
All right, let's move on. Can someone give me some info on?
Okay, just before we move on, in 2022, Donta Foreman had 203 carries, 914 yards, 5 touchdowns.
So
That's
what you're
not
saying? Hold on.
nothing.
No, but what you're saying is
He's a veteran running back.
had he gotten more touches, he probably would have gotten the same numbers as he did last year.
I would say
Probably.
I would argue better than last year.
Maybe better. So I'm kind of on Miller's side. Like I don't think we used the running backs all that great this year. We didn't use a lot of players out this year, but it is what it is. Go ahead, Boobin. You got 2 more updates here?
Yes, I wanted to talk about Miller said special teams. Dante doesn't play him because Travis Homer plays him. He basically only played special teams. He was signing the offseason. 26-year-old, last year of the contract, 1.5 deal. Last person I want to name because he never gets mentioned, I think. Blessing game. He's our fullback. He doesn't play running back as often. Played during injuries.
He got a
And
touchdown too, didn't he?
yeah, wanna give him a shout out. I think he iced a game. I think he helped us win our first game. I think that's what it was. All our running backs were hurt, I think, or something like that. And I think he helped us win that game. I remember that. But he's also on his last year's contract.
I love that Miller forgets that we post our videos on YouTube because you can clearly see like him saying like I don't know or him put his hands up. It's just funny as hell to see like that part. But all right, we're gonna swing it back. We're gonna end the segment with one more category. We're gonna talk about the tight ends. Miller.
I thought you were gonna end it before I.
Oh no, trust me, I want to, but we got to give the people what they want, and they want all the tight ends in the world. So Miller, give me a tight end.
This is my section, bro.
Oh, I'm so sorry, Boopin. Give me everything you want
the
about
one that
tight
likes
ends.
tight ends, not me.
Oh, I'm sorry.
Miller, turn around. Give us a tight end.
Give us a tight end. Come on. All right, sorry about that. I mean, obviously, everyone like most of this stuff comes from Miller and Boopin because I could care less about doing these kind of recaps, but these guys are good at it.
You care less about the.
I give more of visual. I'm more
Let's
of a visual person,
which is why his opinions are always wrong.
Let's talk about the breakout of Cole Kmet, who had 73 catches, 719 yards, and 6 touchdowns and 17 stats. The newly paid man who's 25 years old in this season. He's making 11.6 million this year. He does have a 16 million dead cap hit, but we'll keep him. We don't have to talk about that. He got paid 50 million this offseason. He has great blocking skills. He's a red zone threat.
He does not have great blocking skills.
He's okay. He plays in a bunch of stuff.
I love that when we challenge, Boopin, I love you so much, but I love every time we challenge you when you're like, yeah, he's great.
I mean,
he's okay.
It's objective, right? Like
it is objective.
It's not supposed to be objective.
No, because you're over there fucking swallowing PFF grades and whatnot, but it's whatever. I will say the one thing I will bring up about Cole Kmet is we had a lot of discussions about the contract that he signed before the season or during the season. I can't remember when extension. Do you think that this year would say that that has been a good signing so far?
I would say he had 2 multi-touchdown games and his first 100-yard game. So I think he broke out this year. I could be wrong.
Yeah, he definitely broke out.
That's not a yes or no answer, but Miller will swing it to you.
I think it was definitely a good contract.
You would say yes, obviously.
I was a little skeptical of it at the time. They paid him a lot of money, but he definitely delivered this year.
I think we're all in the same boat. I think it was It was interesting to see that news come out, but I think given how the year ended, I'm okay with the extension that he signed.
Yeah, no, I think like quarterbacks had 102, 109.2 mark when targeting him versus around 90 last year. So he's improved year over year too, which is probably important to point out. But talk about blocking, probably one of the best guy in the leagues to do it, and he's fucking 40 years old. Mercedes Lewis. He probably wasn't brought here for his catching skills. He did have 5 catches, I think, or 4 catches. But man will be 40, will be a free agent. He had a 1 year, $22 million deal. Solid blocker, solid mentor for the team as well. The last guy.
Fun fact on Mercedes Lewis, he had the third highest PFF grade on the team.
Third highest PFF for blocking or
no, just
overall?
PFF
Oh,
grade.
jeez.
Yeah.
I don't even know how that works, but okay.
I don't either.
Here's another signing from the Packers that was supposed to work. Robert Tonyan was on a 1 year, $2.6 million deal. But most of the season, he was third on the depth chart. He was probably even behind Mercedes Lewis, was essentially a pass blocker. The only thing, like Miller was saying, we'll remember about his tenure here was he dropped a dime from Justin Fields. That was a surefire touchdowns against the Cleveland Browns. I think that the fans will not forget that anytime soon. But I can definitely see him signing with the Jets next year. What do you guys think?
I guarantee you they forget about it next year.
What? I think that play and then the play you just said, like the Hail Mary against the Browns, think of like what season we would be talking about right now. Have those plays gone something else? I don't.
We're gonna have a new quarterback, a new roster. No one's gonna give a
new
shit
offensive play caller. Okay, that's fair.
Talk about your other draft pick that you want to
2 things I want to talk about. Like, there's plenty of big names. Cole Kmet is the only guy on contract. There's another name that I couldn't even find stats for. But there's a bunch of good free agents out there if you want to consider. Hunter Henry, Mike Gesicki, Gerald Everett.
Why? You're paying Cole Kmet $12 million a year. Why are you going to go pay some of these?
You need more than one tight ends on your roster.
These guys aren't going to go for what Robert Tonyan went for. You get a veteran tight end.
Sure.
Sign the 41-year-old Mercedes Lewis for all I give a shit. But you're not going to go pay one of these guys big money to come on this team.
I don't support this, but also one of the probably better tight end prospects in a while. Blake Bowers is on the board. I think 9's too high for him, but he's gonna go in the first round.
This would probably be my second worst case scenario if the Bears draft Brock
Not
Bowers.
At 9. I'm saying later. Trade back if you pick him up.
It doesn't matter. I don't want to draft a tight end with number 1 pick. Or first round pick.
Well, good thing you're not running the Bears then.
No, draft a fucking wide receiver if you're going to draft a weapon. You don't need Brock Bowers on this fucking team. I don't need another Kyle Pitts situation. Although I did see an interesting trade of the Bears sending Fields and us getting some draft capital and Kyle Pitts from Atlanta.
My assignment was look at the tight end, see how they did, figure out what free agents are out there and draft picks are out there. And I just got shitted on for the last 2 by Miller.
You never get shit on. You know that we love you.
Look at the free agents, bro.
But hold on, Miller. You just said that you saw something interesting. Are you saying you take that deal?
I don't know the draft. I don't remember the deal. I just saw a speculation. It all depends on the draft pick.
If it brings back Pitts, do you take it?
Depends on the draft picks.
If
it is okay, I don't think so. I really don't.
Okay.
If you even package 2 first-round picks, so that would be the 8th, the first rounder in 25, and Kyle Pitts, I don't think I would take it. I just don't. We don't need a fucking tight end.
Okay. Talk about Atlanta. We don't talk about it enough. Does Bill Belichick sign there, people? Or is it just some hogwash out there? What do you guys think?
I think it's pretty much a done deal.
I don't think it looks like
San Diego's done. Harbaugh, breaking news.
Yeah, Belichick's agent. I think Belichick's agent is putting all this.
LA Chargers.
Wait, is this breaking news?
Yeah, 5 years.
It was broke before the podcast, but it is.
Oh my God! Yeah, you're right.
So the national champion needs a new coach. That's the headline. But
But I think Belichick winds up in Atlanta.
Looks like
Where else is he going to go?
Belichick, his camp is putting this out there. They have interviewed 14 people for this job. 8 people have got a second round interview. Like, it's just an insane thing
Where else
happening.
is Belichick going to go?
He's going to take a year off.
He could, yeah. I mean, that could
take a year off. What is he going to go and be an announcer? Oh my
No,
God,
no,
he'd be
no.
worse
Oh,
than Tony Romo.
But think who's gonna...
everyone shits on Tony Romo. He had a good start, although
You literally came on our Discord chat and said he said the game was crack. Like, come on.
his game's on crack.
So you're literally laughing at his commentary.
He's
but
pretty good at what he does, though.
He is good though.
he's
Like
not.
he is good.
He's
Oh, you
awful.
don't even watch his game. Go fuck yourself.
I love when he like pre-diagnoses the game and just calls what's happening on
He
the
hasn't
field.
done that since his first year, bro.
He's gone down. I will agree.
Yeah.
But I think this year he came a little bit back up.
No, he didn't.
His
Hey,
homework,
but-
how much work he did before the game, has went really downhill last
Yeah,
year.
exactly.
So,
So apparently the LA Chargers Twitter post changed their profile picture to Jim Harbaugh, and it quoted saying, "Who's got it better than us?" That's fucking hilarious. With that, we're also going to bring it down. I think we're going to go ahead and call it an episode. I like to fuck with people when we do this, so I'm just going to tell Miller. Miller, sign us off tonight.
Later, losers.
That's
I
it.
got it.
Jesus
I
Christ.
got it.
Go for it, Boobin.
People, thank you for joining us. Hope you had some fun. Hope we brought some positivity into your life. You know, if we did, give us a like and follow. Give us the feedback. We love you guys. We love arguing with each other. This is what we do when we hang out. We'll do it soon again. Until we meet. Have a good night.
Bye-bye. I forgot that part. Yeah, I forgot that part.